So our last two examples for this section are here. So find the arc length. Now really be careful. Arc length is not the same as arc measure. Okay? Arc measure is degrees. Okay, it relates to the central angle. Arc length is that fraction of the circumference. They're two completely different things, so be sure you really are careful when you read your directions. So the arc length of WZ, so we got to figure out where we are. So WZ is right here. So what fraction of the circumference all the way around is that arc? So I'm going to need this central angle. And remember, the length is equal to the measure of the central angle over 360 times the circumference of the whole circle. So fill in what we know. So we know the measure of the central angle is 46 over 360. The circumference of the circle, the diameter, is 30 times pi. And when I'm multiplying fractions, I put whole numbers over 1. Now you could go to your calculator and you could just multiply the numerator straight across and divide by 360. Or if you want, you can do some canceling, and 30 and 36 cancel. And so I would have 46 pi over 12. 46 and 12 cancel, common factor of 2, so I have 23 pi over 6. You can leave that as your exact answer, or at that point you can go to your calculator and find out that your approximate arc length is 12.04 units. Now this last example, missing some information. So we have the radius of a circle if arc length is 58.25 and our central angle equals 40. That got cut off. But this is like many of the other things in algebra. Grab the formula you need, substitute in what you know, solve for what you don't. So when I look at the formula for arc length, the measure of the angle over 360 times the circumference, which is pi times diameter, over 1. So what do I know? I know the arc length. I know the measure of the angle. I want radius, just kind of wrapped up here in diameter. So we will solve for the diameter. We'll cut it in half at the end to get the radius. So let's put in what we know. So length is 58.25, and that's going to be equal to 40 over 360 times pi d over 1. So now I only have one thing I don't know, and I'm going to begin undoing to get d by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do, multiply both sides by 360. Or you could reduce your fraction, and I probably will do that because 40 over 360 is the same as 1/9. So that makes my numbers a little cleaner, a little smaller to work with. So now I can multiply both sides by 9 to undo that division. And so I have 52425 is equal to pi times diameter. Divide both sides by pi. So I find out my diameter is approximately 166.9. Remember, I'm after radius. Radius is the diameter cut in half, and so my radius is about 83.4 units. So that is the end of the notes for section 1. Good luck with your homework.